What's going on, everybody? What's up? Let me clean my glasses real quick and we will jump into our waiver wire show here for week 3. Waiver wire tonight. The reason why I didn't really do it last night because of the Monday Night Football game, really both Monday Night Football games. This is why I do the waiver wire like today instead of last night, because if I would have did it last night, say like during the Monday Night Football game or before the Monday Night Football game, you know, we would have missed out on Jerome Ford, obviously, like talking about him. So that is why I'm doing it today. So next week we'll do it on Tuesday as well, once again, because of the Monday Night Football games. Anything can, like, and right now, as it's trending right now, it's like every week now, on Monday Night Football, there's an injury, like a significant injury to a fantasy football player, whether it's Rodgers, Nick Chubb this week. It's crazy, man. It just keeps happening. There's like a Monday Night Football curse right now. So these are pretty clean. Let me get the inside right there. There we go. All right. So, God, man, big blow last night. I feel so bad for Nick Chubb. I'm a Nick Chubb owner, and so, you know, hey, this is why we got to prepare for this stuff, guys. I know some of you guys out there are Nick Chubb owners. Let me change this real quick. I just feel so bad for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is one of the best pure runners in football. He's been one of the best pure runners in football, really, since he's been in the league. You know, he was well on his way to going for 100 yards, maybe even 150 yards and a touchdown for us last night, maybe even a couple of touchdowns. It was looking really, really promising for Chubb. If you had Chubb, you know, a lot of us who own him, obviously you had him in your lineup. We were looking really, really good. And, you know, just a bad knee injury, horrific knee injury. I'm not going to say his career's over, but he is up at that age right now where I don't know if there's really any coming back to being the Nick Chubb that we seen last year and what we were seeing the first 2 weeks. I will say that. Bronson, trade Jonathan Taylor for Calvin Ridley. Yes. If you own Jonathan Taylor and somebody offered you Ridley for him, I would trade him. I don't, you know, it's weird. Like, just off the cuff, I would say yes. But there's a chance that maybe they trade Jonathan Taylor, maybe within like a week or two, maybe. Maybe they trade him to the Browns. Maybe they trade him to another team. Like, I think the Ravens are probably going to be in the market for a running back. You got to think Cam Akers is out there as well, who's also going to probably get traded. Cam Akers has a more likelihood of getting traded than Jonathan Taylor. I'm not saying I'm not going to say the Colts aren't going to trade him. They might, but even if Taylor did get traded, you don't know where he's going to go. It's a very uncertain situation to own him right now. I think it's really just a guy I don't know if I really want any part of for this year, but the safe option would be to get Ridley. So if you're the Jonathan Taylor owner and somebody's offering you right now Ridley for Taylor straight up, you have to take it, in my opinion. I would hope that you get some good options at running back ahead of Taylor right now, but I don't know how you could turn this offer down. I really don't know how you could turn it down, to be honest. There's no way you cannot turn this down, because Taylor is he could be in a very good situation here in a couple weeks, say if they traded him, or say if he does look good in Indianapolis or whatever. But you're getting basically an extra 2 weeks of Ridley if you trade for Ridley now. So I would do it, because you're not going to have Taylor this week or at least next week. Or yeah, you're not going to have him week 3 or week 4 at the very least. So you said I have Etienne, Ramondre, Kamara. Yeah, punch it then. Punch it, run for the hills. Hopefully it doesn't get vetoed down, I guess. All right, guys, let me get into this waiver wire stuff. I'm going to try to answer your questions as we go along. I actually just made a trade today myself. I traded Trevor Lawrence and Zay Jones to get Lamar Jackson. So it's right here. Right here. I traded away Trevor Lawrence and Zay Jones to get Lamar Jackson. I feel like it was almost like an offer I could not refuse. I do like Trevor Lawrence still, and I do recommend you guys going out to go get him or hang on to him. But if there's a situation like this that arises where I'm getting Lamar, I think in this league, and you know, I don't like to give away Zay Jones, but I think I can afford it, especially if I end up picking up a guy or two off the waiver wire. We do have Jaden Reed. We do have Marquise Brown on the bench as well, so I'm not too worried about losing out on Zay Jones. As far as I'm concerned, I kind of see this as a Lamar for Lawrence. I do like Lamar a little bit right now over Trevor Lawrence. I feel like he's in a very, very good situation here with this new offensive coordinator, Todd Monken. No J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. I feel very, very confident about having a Lamar Jackson share for this year in this league. I think he's going to have a pretty good year. Really, I think he's going to be in the MVP conversation here, you know, in a few weeks. I think he's going to be inside the top 3 or 4 guys right now, here in a few weeks, as far as that conversation goes. Wide receivers, I have Chase, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra, Addison, Sutton, Mike Thomas. God, dude, you're loaded at receiver now. But you have some insurance kind of behind Chase. I know Chase hasn't really panned out. We're going to get into the buy low, sell high guys. We're going to get into guys that you need to stash, guys you need to cut. I'm going to go over that in another stream probably tonight. So I'm going to do this stream over the waiver wire, and then I'm going to tonight I'm going to do another stream. We're going to go over buy low, sell high, hold, stash, and cut guys. What's going on, LeBron's? What's up? All right, so this is pretty easy here. You know, Jerome Ford's obviously top guy right now. I don't really have these guys in any particular order from top to bottom. I don't really have them in any particular order. The percentage next to their name is what their availability is in Yahoo. I can kind of give you guys maybe the number for sleeper as well. This is going to depend on what site you're using, whether it's ESPN, Yahoo, sleeper, you know, it's going to depend obviously. QBs, you get Stafford, Love, Stroud, Mac Jones, Russell Wilson, and Sam Howell. Those are kind of your top quarterbacks that are out there in most leagues. I would say Love and Stafford are my 1 and 2. Those are like really kind of the top guys. Stroud's close behind. Stroud and Stafford have are pretty much like leaders right now in terms of attempts per game, the last 2 weeks combined. So those guys are going to be throwing the ball a lot. I mean, you should have better options at quarterback, especially if you're in like a 10-man league. But Stafford and Love are kind of my top options. Love he's got 6 touchdowns. I think he's tied for the most touchdowns this year, or has the most or whatever so far through 2 weeks. Stafford's been throwing the ball a ton though, and Stafford could be a really good pickup here, especially if you get him like now, like this week, or maybe if you get him even into next week, before Cooper Kupp comes back. And if Kupp comes back fully healthy, he's ready to go, Stafford could really be kind of a dark horse sleeper pick, kind of, you know, off the waiver wire if you need a quarterback. If you drafted Daniel Jones and you drafted Kenny Pickett, like if you're a guy who went out and drafted Daniel Jones and Kenny Pickett, you went late quarterback. Love and Stafford would be my top 2 guys for the most part. Love's got a difficult schedule coming up, which doesn't really matter too much. He is kind of missing some pieces. You know, we'll have to wait and see if Aaron Jones comes back this week. If Christian Watson comes back, that would greatly help him probably. But Stafford is just slinging it with Puka, Atwell, you know, Kyron Williams. And like I said, he's probably going to get Cooper Kupp coming back here pretty soon, week 5. Hopefully he stays healthy, I guess, for people that own him and for him in fantasy in general. So Stroud's been throwing the ball quite a bit. He's not really a guy that you necessarily have, you know, you don't really have to go get him, even if you are hurting at quarterback. I wouldn't, you know, Mac Jones could be a better option just because Hey, this is the result of getting a better offensive coordinator, getting rid of the old offensive coordinator they had. You got Bill O'Brien coming in now, and I think it's really showing that Jones is playing a little bit better this year. I know we only got a 2-week sample, but I mean, he didn't play terrible Monday night. You'd like to see him play a little bit better, but I feel like he needs like another weapon or two on that offense, to be honest. Russ has been playing a little bit better. He played obviously pretty good in fantasy this week. I would say he's looking better compared to last year, so you could go get Russ. I feel like Stafford, Love, and even Mac Jones are probably better options. Sam Howell is out there as well, and so Sam Howell, we'll see. I like Sam Howell, but I also like some of these guys ahead of him a little bit better. So those are your quarterbacks. Tight ends, we'll go over tight ends real quick. Laporte is really my top guy that's out there. Ferguson and Henry are close second, third. I really do like, I know Henry and Ferguson, or especially Henry's been playing better than everybody else. He's technically like tight end 1, I think, for the first 2 weeks. I don't think Hunter Henry's going to go out and get you 15 points every single week. I believe he got you like 10 this week, depending on if you're half PPR or full PPR. But there might be a week or two here where, like, I think coming up where he maybe doesn't produce quite as much. Maybe he only gets you about 4 or 5 points, which isn't terrible. I mean, that's what a lot of these other tight ends are getting anyways. But I like Laporta and his offense. They're giving him the ball enough, about 5-6 targets a game. I think Ferguson's pretty decent. He scored. He got in the end zone this past week. Musgrave, I still like Musgrave. He's still got a large share of his, of him being out there. Not a lot of people have picked up Ferguson, Musgrave, Hayden Hurst. Henry and Laporta could be owned in your league, depending on your league. But those are my top options at tight end for the most part. I wouldn't drop a ton of money on either of them to get any of them, but if you need a tight end, say you have Freiermuth, who's struggling right now. Say you have Njoku, and Njoku had a decent game, but he's struggling a little bit as well. Say you drafted, I have Kincaid. I'm kind of going to hold on to Kincaid. I think Kincaid's getting ready to have a really good game, to be honest. And I like the way that they're kind of using Kincaid. He's getting targets. He just hasn't fell in the end zone yet. But I wouldn't mind going out and getting like Laporta, Henry, or Ferguson. I still like Musgrave. I thought he was going to have a better week this week with no Jones, with no Christian Watson. It ended up being Jaden Reed, and so I was kind of shocked by that. Of course, I had Reed on my bench, and he got me like 17 points, so it is what it is. We ended up we got 4th place this week in the auction league, and then we got like 4th place in the other league this week as well, so not too bad. Positive points, and I think so. We're like barely here in 5th in the auction league, but it's close, man. It's tight. Really, the 1 through 5 order right now in terms of total points, it's pretty close. In the other league, we are in 2nd place, and we're behind the leader by like 5 points. But we could pass them this week coming up. We'll see. About to try to finesse someone and trade me Amon Ra for Mike Thomas and Hopkins. Smooth talk him somehow. This is the time to start. To start making some moves. Like I said, I'm gonna go over. I'm really gonna talk more about trades whenever I go. I might jump right into another stream here. We'll see. I'll probably go live maybe 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, and I'm gonna go over. This is what we're gonna go over. We're going to go over this right here. The buy, sell, hold, and the stash and the cut, guys. I have their names right here with their teams. I decided to go this route aside from the, get away from the player cutouts of their profile pictures, because I had some people asking me to go to this style since they don't really know what the players look like, which is fine. I get a lot of you guys maybe don't know which players are who, because you guys don't know what they look like. But so we'll just go over their names on a on a little background here with their team logo next to them. So we're going to go over stash, cut guys. We're going to go over buy, sell, hold guys. Buy low, hold, sell high. I'm going to give you my opinion on each and every guy for the most part. It's not going to be every guy, but it's going to be most guys that are kind of in this category to talk about based off how they performed the last 2 weeks. So we'll go over this tonight. Back to the waiver wire here. So running backs, Kyren is still kind of out there. I mean, he's owned in my leagues. It says he's rostered 66%, so there's 34% really in sleeper that he's available. I have 37 here. This is for Yahoo. I do my leagues on sleeper, but I go over Yahoo because I know a lot of people do a Yahoo league, and so since that's the case, I kind of just go off Yahoo because it's kind of a little bit more for casuals, in my opinion. So a lot of people who don't follow this stuff religiously, who aren't sure about guys, I'm sure a lot of people are doing like an ESPN or a Yahoo league. So this could also be a little bit different in ESPN as well. Kyren's the number one option though, if he's out there, over all of these guys. It's not even close. I thought he was fool's gold last week. I'm not gonna lie, I'm obviously wrong on that. And really what kind of cemented that being wrong was when they scratched Cam Akers as a healthy scratch, which I did not see coming. This Cam Akers stuff is just out of like left field. It's out of left field. I almost, like, you almost couldn't predict it. I didn't see it coming. I don't think a lot of people seen this coming. And so I still like Akers, but we got to see him get, like, if you have Akers, if you own Akers, do not trade him just yet. Don't trade him. Definitely don't drop him yet. We got to see what happens. He's on the trading block. They're going to trade him. And with Chubb going down, with Dobbins down, you got Barkley and Eckler down right now. I mean, they're not out for the season, but they're going to miss probably a couple more weeks. You got Aaron Jones that are probably going to miss this week if he doesn't practice. There's some teams out there that might go get Cam Akers. And look, I'm a Nick Chubb owner. You guys know that. And I had him in the auction league, and it sucks. This is why I drafted Breece Hall, Mixon, and Walker, though, to go along with Chubb in this league. And there's going to be another guy or two that goes down. You got to think Montgomery went down. He might miss a couple weeks. There's all kinds of guys. And there's going to be more. There's going to be another one or two that go down. And so the Colts could be in the market to go get Akers. I know Taylor's set to come back, but they might end up like trading Taylor, or he might just end up being, sitting him down, and then they might trade for Akers. Who knows? We'll see. I don't think Moss is the long-term answer. I know Moss had a decent game this past week, but there's a lot of uncertainty right now around the running back position right now. So, but don't trade Akers. Kyren's number one. Ford is number two now that Chubb is gone. I know that Kareem Hunt he was meeting with the Browns today. I think Kareem Hunt is the most likely candidate to kind of go to the Browns. I think they're going to re-sign him. He knows the offense. He's been with the organization the last few years. He's very familiar. I think they do bring back Kareem Hunt. It's going to be cheaper for them to bring back Kareem Hunt, I believe, than to go trade for like Akers, because I think they're going to be giving up a little bit too much draft value to go get Akers, probably. Maybe it'd be like a 4th or a 5th round pick to get Akers, something like that, but I don't think they're going to want to do that. I think they would rather sign a guy who knows the offense, is familiar with the offense, and they probably won't have to pay him too much, I wouldn't think. So let me get to your guys' questions here. So just trade Mostert, Love, and Najee for Garrett, Wilson, Fields, and Gainwell. Your thoughts? I don't mind it. If you guys have Najee, trade him. If you guys have Najee Harris, you better trade him. He's not looking very good. He's not looking very good. And Warren's this close to taking his job. This close. So yeah, Mostert, Love, Najee. You're getting Garrett. Look, Garrett Wilson's a solid number 2 the rest of the year. He's not a number 1 receiver anymore because of Aaron Rodgers' injury. He's a solid number 2. So give me Garrett Wilson over Mostert. Fields and Love, he's probably winning the Loves versus Fields. Fields, he might bounce back, but I'm telling you guys, I watched some film. If you guys watch the fantasy, or no, it's a YouTube channel. It's like the quarterback room or whatever it's called. Oh, I forget what it's called. Something quarterback. But he watches film on these quarterbacks each week. And if you guys go watch it, it's a long video. It's about an hour and a half. I watched most of it. I didn't watch all of it. I watched about an hour and 20 minutes of it. It's not good, man. The film against the Buccaneers is terrible. It seems like Fields cannot get through his progressions. Okay, he can't go from option 1 to option 2 to option 3, scanning left to right whenever he's passing, or right to left. He doesn't trust. I don't know. It's like he has trust issues with some of his guys or something, and he just can't move to the to the number 2 option that's usually running like a dig route. So it looked really bad. Plus he had offensive line issues, miscommunication on the offensive line. The offensive line didn't look very good at all. So Gainwell, we'll see about Gainwell. This is a close trade. I'm not going to say that you hit it out of the park, but it's close. It's close, man. Mostert, I do think Mostert's a sell high candidate. I feel like you should have got a little bit more. Like, instead of Gainwell, I feel like you should have got, like, I don't know, somebody better. Maybe somebody like trying to think, man. I don't know. It's gonna be tough to get running backs right now. Like I have a Walker and a Mixon who are like 4th round picks. Of course, I drafted them in an auction, so I bid on them. But those guys are gonna be hard to get. Those guys' value is gonna keep going up because of all the injuries that are occurring right now at the running back position. 2 questions. You have 2 questions. Let me look. Would you keep Kelly with Eckler injured? Yes. I have Eckler and Kyren. I'm thinking of dropping Dobbs for Reynolds. Do that as well. What do you think of this? So there, yeah, that's what I think. Yes. Do not drop Kelly. Eckler's probably going to miss another week or 2. Kelly went up against Tennessee's defense. Tennessee has been very stout against the run. I know I said to start him, but you kind of have to, especially if you had Eckler. I would think you had to start him this week. I know he didn't perform to everybody's expectations. Keep in mind, though, Tennessee's run defense is pretty good. They bottled up the New Orleans running backs in week 1, and they obviously bottled him up this way. I think Tennessee's defense. I mean, if I have a really good running back going up against their defense, yeah, I'm going to still start them from week to week, but I would lower your expectations. Tennessee has a very good run defense, so just keep that in mind. And yes, drop Dobbs, pick up Reynolds. Reynolds, a lot of people are like, oh, Reynolds maybe not be quite so good once Jameson Williams comes back. I beg to differ. I think you're going to still see a lot of Reynolds even after week 6. So Reynolds, look, there's going to be a lot of passing, especially with Monty missing maybe a couple weeks. There's going to be a lot of passing in this offense some more. There's enough passing to go around really to feed Gibbs, Amon-Ra, and Reynolds, and even Laporta a little bit to a degree. So yeah, pick up Reynolds. Dobbs, I'm not really super high on. I did pick him up off of waiver last week, but I didn't pick him up for much. And really, Dobbs is kind of like a rent guy for the most part. He needs red zone targets, and he needs touchdowns to kind of pay off for you from week to week. So I'm receiving Josh Jacobs, trading away David Montgomery and Mike Williams thoughts. Look, I don't like Josh Jacobs too much. I think he gets hurt this year at some point, but I do think he won that trade. Yeah, trade away David Montgomery and Mike Williams, get Jacobs. Yeah, good job. You probably win that trade, especially if Jacobs does stay healthy and he proves me wrong. Would you? Okay, we went over that one. First pick on the wire, take Dell first or Reynolds? I'm going to take Dell. I like both guys. I think you can go both guys, but I like Dell. Dell is a rookie out of Houston. He plays for Houston, here in the NFL as well. So he stayed in Houston, but Dell's going to get more snaps. He got more snaps this week. We knew what he could do. We saw what he did in the preseason. Give me Dell first. Give me Dell first because, like I said, Stroud and Stafford have thrown the ball more than anybody over the first 2 weeks of the season. I think that's going to continue. They don't really have much of a run game. Pierce has been a disappointment, probably because they're missing so many offensive linemen on that line right now. So they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. I think Dell's going to get more and more opportunity because he's probably the second best receiver on that team behind Nico Collins. Woods is a solid option as well, but we'll see how long Woods can stay healthy. Give me Tank Dell, Danny. Would you trade guys away? Would you trade, or would you guys trade away Evans to get Hall? Mike Evans to get Breece Hall? I would, but I would want to try to. I would try to weasel another guy out of him. Brees Hall had a bad. I told you guys he had a bad matchup, and I told you he probably wasn't going to play very good. I had him on the bench this week for that reason. Look, everybody's going to overreact to Hall. Okay, Hall, I'm telling you right now, he's going to have a bounce back game this week. I would bet on it. The Patriots' rush defense has been getting tore up for over the last 2 weeks. Mostert tore them up on Sunday night. They got tore up the week before that, to a degree, I guess, from the Eagles. Not too much, but I would want to get another piece, because Evans, you could sell Evans so high right now. I feel like you could get Hall and somebody else, man. Ford still top ad with Hunt visiting. Yeah, he is. He still is. I think they don't. I do think they ultimately sign Kareem Hunt. Like I said, it's just he knows the system. He knows the playbook. So I'd be shocked if they went out and got like Akers instead of like Hunt. Like if they traded for Akers and they didn't get Hunt. I think Hunt's going to be the guy that comes in. Hunt was not the most efficient back last year. If you guys go back and look at the stats, like you could tell he looks like he kind of lost a step, and the stats kind of, the advanced metrics kind of say he kind of lost a step. Ford, I think I do look, they're gonna mix in Kareem Hunt, even, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying, but I do think Ford is still a solid option. I think if they go out and get Kareem Hunt, which I think they will, they're gonna still mix him in. Like they're gonna mix him into the offense. We don't know if he's in game shape right now. He's already, it's already week 3. It may take some time to ease him in. They will ease him in eventually, but I still trust Jerome Ford to probably get about anywhere from 50 to 60% of touches. So I would say, Kyron's number 1, guys. If Kyron for some reason is out there, he's number 1. But in most leagues, he's probably not. So Ford would be number 1 in my opinion. Thanks for answering the question, just so I appreciate it, man. Long question, sorry. I'm 3rd in waiver wire order. Should I drop Zay Jones, pick up Josh Reynolds, or should I prioritize picking up defense? I wouldn't. I don't think. Look, everybody's just panicking on Zay Jones. I wouldn't. Look, I know he had a goose egg. I had him in the lineup in one of my leagues. He dropped a goose egg. He had 2 touchdowns, guys. He had 2 touchdowns. He just didn't get the second foot down. Don't panic on Zay Jones. I know I just traded him away in this other league, but that's because I got to upgrade at quarterback. But I would hang on to Zay Jones. I wouldn't. Look, he's playing in the 2 receiver sets. He had 2 touchdowns that he was this close to having. I know he got like a little bit injured. I think he came back. I don't think the injury is really that serious. He should be good moving forward. I don't know if I would do that. I like Zay Jones a little bit better than Josh Reynolds, if I'm being honest. So I wouldn't do that. Should I prioritize picking up a defense to replace my? Yeah, probably. Chiefs. I don't have defenses on here. The Chiefs defense are going to be top prioritized probably. They got the Bears coming up, and with how Justin Fields has been looking, and really how bad the offensive lines kind of looked as well, the Chiefs are going to be number 1. I would say, let me see here. Let me look at the tight end rankings for the most part for this week. The Saints were out there for some reason. If that defense was out there for some reason, go get them. If you might see Baltimore's defense out there too. Maybe take Baltimore's defense, Pittsburgh's defense as well. Chiefs are going to be kind of the top ad though, just because of who they're playing. 14 team PPR, my wide receivers are Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers, Drake London, Elijah Moore, Zay Jones, Marvin Mims Jr. Running backs are Bijan, B-Rob, Javonte, Charbonnet, Jalen Waddle. Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. You got Devontae Smith, Flowers. Look, I would try to sell high on London. Look, I'm going to go over the sell guys. Like I said, tonight I'm going to do another stream. We're going to go over the buy low, sell high, hold, and guys that you should stash or cut from your roster. I'm going to go over that tonight, okay, in a separate stream. This is just going to be the waiver wire video, and I'm going to answer some of your guys' questions. So a lot of these questions you guys have about like trades and stuff, tune in tonight. I'm going to go live again tonight, and I'm going to go over all that stuff as well. You missed my question. Reese, did I miss your question? Yeah, I did. Madison, White, or Pacheco. I'm leaving Pacheco for garbage time yardage. You can't start Madison after the last 2 weeks. Madison's going to be a guy that I wouldn't even say you're cutting, but you need to try to trade away. it's going to be tough, obviously, because he's not playing any good. Madison, I think, is going to end up losing his job to Ty Chandler here pretty soon if things continue. He's having fumble issues. He's not explosive. Ty Chandler is going to be, I'm telling you guys right now, expect to see Ty Chandler about 50% of the time coming up this next game. You're going to see Ty Chandler more and more involved. I think you kind of started to see it there in the Philly game Thursday night. So you got White versus Philly. That's Rachaad White, Pacheco. I'm taking Rachaad White, dude. I'm taking Rachaad White. Pacheco's got to show me something. Look, I'm a Chiefs fan. You don't notice the Kelsey jersey on the wall. I am a Chiefs fan. I live in Kansas City. I'm a longtime Chiefs fan. Was never high on Pacheco, just because he's on an offense that they mix in multiple running backs, and they don't throw the ball to the running backs really, especially now that Kelsey's back. And really, and even if they are throwing it to the running backs, they're throwing it to either, like, you know, they're throwing it to Clyde or they're throwing it to McKinnon. And so he's running good. He just doesn't get the volume. Like he's running for like 4.5, 5 yards a carry, I believe. But he's not getting the volume is the problem. And he's not getting in the end zone either. Pacheco's kind of a very touchdown dependent running back in fantasy, especially as a running back 2 or 1. So would you keep Kelly with, yeah, okay, I did this already. I went over that one. Did that one already. Did that one. Yep. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Trade away Barkley and Aaron Jones for Jacobs and Gibbs. Did I win? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, but we'll see, man. It depends on how much time. Look, Barkley's going to probably, I know they're saying he's questionable for Thursday. He's not playing Thursday. I seen a report about 2 to 3 weeks is what he's going to miss. Jones, I don't think is going to play this week again. We'll see. If Jones, like I said, I told you guys this last, like, I think it was Sunday or whatever. If Jones misses practice like tomorrow and Thursday, he's probably not going to play. I'm going to say you won because, especially in the long haul, if this is a keeper or if this is a dynasty, you definitely won. For this year alone, I'm going to say you won. I do worry about Jacobs, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I told you guys so if he goes down before week 8 or whatever. But when Jacobs has a good game, which I think is coming soon, I'd try to trade him for everything I could get. I think I would. He's been bottled up the last 2 weeks. Granted, he's played against a couple of decent defenses, even though the Broncos didn't really play very good defense this past week. But I do like Gibbs over Aaron Jones, especially Aaron Jones. Maybe not quite so much Barkley. Barkley was this close to having like an ACL tear, the way he got bent back. And so, I mean, yeah, you definitely won. If you traded, I don't even know how you got this trade. There's no way somebody in my league is making this trade with the status of Jones and the status of Barkley. There's no way somebody would have made that trade. So I'm going to say you won, Vision. Who should I target in exchange for Mostert, 12-team, non-PPR? I also have Lamar, Adams. I'm guessing that's Keenan Allen. CMC, Madison, Kittle, Mostert, Kamara, Flowers, and a few okay bench stashes. Who should you target in exchange for Mostert? Mostert's going to be, hey, I'm going to give you guys a news flash. Mostert's going to be on the sell high list tonight. Off the top of my head, I would try to go get, I mean, you might be able to get a couple guys the way he's been playing after that 30-point performance. You might be able to get like a couple of guys, to be honest. It just depends. I would buy low on, you could buy low on ETN. You could buy somewhat kind of low on Kenneth Walker. I like Kenneth Walker a lot. I obviously own Kenneth Walker in both my leagues. But really, I might try to get Kenneth Walker and maybe another piece if I'm trading Mostert. Look, guys, Mostert's old. I know he's played pretty good the last 2 weeks, but he's going to be on the sell high list. I'm sorry. He's a guy that I'm getting off of, and this is a good time to get off of him. So he's a guy that I'm getting off of. This damn fly flying around in here. It's a good trade giving Kenneth Walker, Olave. Is it a good trade giving away Kenneth Walker, Olave, Goddard, and Fields for Kelsey, Bijan, and Flowers? Yes. Yes. Take that and run for the hills. The veto police are coming. The veto police are coming to your door, dude.
Robbery in progress.
Should I trade Pollard and London for Hill? This is a tough one. This is a tough one. And the only reason why I say this is, look, I almost take London out of the equation from this. I know London kind of had a bounce back week. I told you guys if he had a bounce back week, I would sell him. Now, but Pollard's gonna have a really good year, guys. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm gonna show you guys the advanced stats, I think tomorrow, because I need to go through and update them again. I kind of updated them a little bit last night for the running backs. I also need to do the receivers as well, but for some reason the site is like they haven't really updated the metrics yet. So hopefully they get that done tonight, and should be able to show it tomorrow. Pollard's gonna have a really good year, okay? Hill is obviously gonna have a really good year as well. This could go either way. I could take the Pollard in the London side. If I'm the Tyreek Hill owner and you offered me Pollard and London, I'm probably not gonna take it unless I'm desperate for a running back and I have a bunch of receivers. So I would say on its face, the Hill side I think is the side that I would rather have, but it also just depends on your roster. It depends if you need a running back or not, and if you have a bunch of other receivers that are pretty good behind Hill, then maybe you do it. This is kind of a roster dependent question right here, so I don't want to steer you one way or the other and steer you the wrong way. It depends on my roster. If I have a ton of receiver depth and I can afford to lose him, let's say I had Dobbins on my team and I had Chubb, and then now all I have is Kyron Williams off of the waiver wire and I need another running back, then I'm probably going to do it. But aside from that, maybe not. Who better pick up, Dell, Reed, Hunt, and PPR? I got the first pick in waivers. Should I drop Rice or Jameson Williams or keep holding Jameson Williams? I would drop Rashee Rice if you have Rashee Rice. Look, man, he's a rookie and he's playing in Andy Reid's offense, man. He's not going to get much playing time. I think you're going to start seeing Sky Moore and Tony a little bit more often here. Like, they're going to get more snaps probably as the weeks keep going on, as long as they stay healthy, obviously. I guess keep Jameson Williams, because you should be able to hold Jameson Williams on like your IR spot since he's out, I believe. I don't know if you can or not. I guess it depends on your league rules. Dell is the better pickup though. Dell's the better pickup. It's close between him and Reed. Reed could be pretty good if Watson stays hurt and Jones stays hurt. We don't know how long they're going to stay hurt for. Give me Dell, dude. Dell's going to start getting more playing time. Stroud loves Tank Dell. Like, Stroud was like really one of the reasons they went out and drafted Tank Dell. He wanted him. And you guys seen what Dell can do when he gets playing time. We've seen it in the preseason, and we just seen it this past week. Go get Tank Dell. He's number one for me between those three. I would try to get Kareem Hunt too, but I'm not taking Hunt over Dell. There's no way. I've also got Burrow as my only QB. Should I drop Zay Jones or Stroud? I'm not dropping. I know everybody wants to drop Zay Jones. I'm not dropping Zay Jones, man. I'm not. I know we had a goose egg, but you're not dropping Zay Jones, man. There's got to be somebody else you can drop, Cameron. It's got to be somebody else. You probably need to go get a backup QB. We'll talk about Burrow and Chase and all those guys tonight. I'm not really going to go over it tonight on this waiver video. We'll talk about that tonight, but man, you gotta hold on to Zay Jones or trade him like I did today. You know what I mean? And of course, I have the benefit of trading him to a guy who, like, he's a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, so he loves Jaguar players. That's how you can take advantage of people in your league, guys. If you know if they're fans of certain teams and stuff, they get emotionally involved. You can't get emotionally involved in fantasy. That's how you lose. Got Kincaid on the bench while I stream Laporta. Should I drop Kincaid for Dell? No, but maybe. Look, I have Kincaid and I like Laporta too. And really, it's a coin flip between who you're starting from week to week. I think Kincaid is going to start to be a little bit better here in fantasy as the weeks progress. Laporta's been a solid option really the first 2 weeks. I like Danny, but I'm not dropping. There's got to be somebody else you can drop for him, man. There's got to be somebody else. I know you don't necessarily need 2 tight ends. I only have 1 tight end on my rosters. I don't know, man. Would you start Laporta or Dallas Goedert this week? I'm going to start Laporta probably until Dallas Goedert proves it to me. They do have, so they got Tampa Bay on Monday night. And who does? Oh yeah, we got the Falcons and we got the Lions this week. I'm gonna probably start Laporta. It's close. I really, it's funny because I would have never told you that before the season. I'd be like, well, you got to start Goddard. You can maybe keep rolling the dice with Goddard. Maybe he ends up. I mean, they tried to force the ball to him on Thursday night and like early. So I don't know what's going on with Philly's offense, man. Really. They couldn't stop the run. Minnesota could not stop the run, and so they decided to run the ball. Okay, and they kind of really phased out A.J. Brown. They phased out Goddard. They really phased out Devontae Smith too, but Devontae Smith had those 2 big catches. You take those 2 catches away, and really, I mean, he only had 5 targets. So, but they were running the ball so effectively, why go away from it? That's kind of what happened in that game on Thursday night. So, this is going to be a little different this week because I think Tampa Bay's defense is pretty decent against the run for the most part. At least it's kind of looked like it. Of course, they haven't really played anybody that has a good run game, but it's a coin flip. But give me Laporta, I guess. Give me Laporta. Laporta's got your targets. Like he's going to get you 5-6 targets a game, maybe even 7, depending on how game scripty the game goes. The thing about the Lions is they can't stop anybody, so they're passing the ball a ton. So, and they just lost Montgomery. They have Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield. Craig Reynolds is probably going to be the primary back as far as short yardage, as far as running between the tackles. But Gibbs is going to get catches. Laporta is going to get catches. Amon-Ra and Reynolds. They can't stop anybody, and they're probably going to be in a lot of shootouts again this year. So, I would say Laporta is probably the safer option until we figure out what's going on with Dallas Goedert. I have Pollard's side. He's really my only running back I have, but I have Jefferson and I'm a raw wide receiver. Okay. So, and you have Tyreek Hill. I have the Pollard side and you have the Pollard side. You're trying to get Hill. I have the Pollard side. He's really, so no, then I wouldn't do it, Duffy. If you have Amon-Ra and JJ, why are you trying to get Tyreek Hill? Is that guy trying to trade you Tyreek Hill to get Pollard and London? I wouldn't do it then. Because you're good at receiver. You got JJ and Amon-Ra as your 1-2. You don't need Tyreek Hill and then have no running backs if Pollard's your only really good running back. I wouldn't do it, Duffy. My wide receivers are Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers, Drake London, Elijah Moore, Zay Jones, Marvin Mims. Running backs are Bijan, B-Rod, Javonte, Williams, Charbonnet, and Jalen. So you were asking me if you should go get Stroud for Zay Jones. I would drop Charbonnet. I would drop Marvin Mims. I would try to sell Marvin Mims, though, is what I would do. I don't know if I would drop Marvin Mims. You could drop Marvin Mims if you really need a quarterback that bad. You don't have to have Mims, dude. You got Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers. I think Zay Jones is better than Mims. I think Elijah Moore is better than Mims going forward, especially now that Chubb's injured. You do have some pretty good running backs. You have Bijan, B-Rob. That's a good combo right now. Javonte, I think, is a good guy to wait on. Jaylen Warren, I assume that's Jaylen Warren, right? I hope that's Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren's better than Charbonnet, obviously. He's going to be, especially once he takes Najee's job, because it's coming. Sorry, I know I've already dropped my roster, but who should I drop for the backup QB? That's what I'm saying. Maybe I would say Mims, but I would try to trade Mims after the week that he had. This is a sell high on Marvin Mims this week after what he did. But it would be Mims or Charbonnet. Probably Charbonnet. I don't look. Walker's gonna have to get hurt. I'm not saying Charbonnet can't be a good guy to hang on to, because obviously the running backs are dropping like flies right now. But he's not hardly involved in that offense. Walker is the clear-cut number one. All the people that were worried about Charbonnet, they are mistaken, because it's Walker's backfield, at least until he gets hurt. So, but if you need a backup QB that bad and you have to drop somebody, if you have a couple of tight ends, get rid of one of your tight ends. You don't need to have two tight ends. Keep the best tight end on your roster, get rid of one of your tight ends if you don't want to drop a running back or a receiver. Or if you have two defenses, or, you know, I don't know if you're in a league that has defenses. If you have two defenses, drop a defense and pick up a QB. If you don't want to drop a running back or receiver. Who to drop for Jerome Ford? Full PPR, Khalil Herbert, Tyler Algier, Madison, or none. Also have Chig, but I'm not dropping him for Kirk. But I'm dropping him for Kirk Cousins since I have Fields. This is not gonna be popular, but it's Madison, dude. It's Madison. Do you have any receivers that you could drop though? Do you have a bunch of like garbage receivers on the bench maybe that you could drop? Madison's a guy. I'd hate telling you guys to drop him, because I know you guys spent probably good draft value on him. You guys probably drafted him in the 5th or 6th round, or you spent a decent amount of money on him if it's an auction league. So I don't want to tell you guys to just drop him for no reason after all the draft value that you spent on him. Maybe you hold on to Madison and wait for him to have a good game, and then you try to flip him. You try to trade him for somebody. But I'm not dropping Tyler Algier. I'm not dropping Khalil Herbert as it stands right now over Madison. So you got to have other running backs or other receivers, right? Khalil Herbert and Tyler Algier and Madison cannot be your top running backs, right? There's no way. Unless you had like Chubb or somebody. Should I start Miles Sanders or Mostert this week? It's got to be Mostert, dude, until we figure out what Sanders is doing. I wasn't high on Sanders coming into this year. I'm glad I wasn't, because this is the problem, man. It's tough, and like I know people want to look at like certain guys like, oh, they got the backfield to themselves, or oh, they're the number one receiver, you know, this or that on their team. If they're playing for a bad team though that can't score points, it doesn't really matter in the end, you know, at the end. So, and that's kind of what Sanders is in. Yeah, he's got the running backfield to himself, this and that, but he plays on a team that can't score with a rookie quarterback who, I mean, he's had a couple of tough matchups for the most part. Atlanta's defense is terrible, but they're not great. New Orleans defense pretty good. That game kind of went about how I expected it. You know, I think Young's going to be a little bit better going forward, but he's still young and he's still developing as a quarterback in the NFL. And I don't think the offensive line is really anything to brag about either. So, and, you know, the defense isn't really top notch either. So they're going to be behind in a lot of games, passing the ball. Sanders is a guy who's got to kind of fall in the end zone for him to really pay off from week to week. So that's what, you know, those are my thoughts. Jacoby Myers, Josh Reynolds, McLaurin, Hollywood. Drop one for Kareem Hunt. FPPR question mark. Maybe Jacoby, especially if he's still dealing with concussion or whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't be too high on Kareem Hunt, guys. Like, you know, people are gonna probably pick him up this week, but they might drop him after next week, because I don't think he plays this week, and if he does, I don't think he plays much, and I don't think he really explodes and has a crazy game. So somebody might pick Kareem Hunt up this week, and then they might drop him on Monday or Tuesday this next week if he doesn't do anything, which I don't think he's going to do too much. You gotta think he hasn't practiced this year, right? I mean, I know he knows the playbook, but and really you gotta wait and see if he still signs. He may not even sign with them. I reckon he probably does, but you never know. Need to sit one for Puka, up Puka Higgins, Lockett. Puka and Higgins play each other. Lockett's got Carolina this week. Ooh, this is I think I'm starting Lockett no matter what. So you're really picking between Higgins and Puka, in my opinion. I'm gonna say maybe Higgins. I don't really know if you can sit Puka right now. You know what I mean? We still have no Cooper Kupp. They're gonna sling the ball. Maybe you wait to see the status of Joe Burrow. So if Joe Burrow doesn't play, then it's definitely Puka and it's definitely Lockett. This is one we'll come back to, Jacob. Ask me again like Saturday or Sunday. I'll definitely be live Sunday before the game starts. Ask me again on Sunday probably. We need to kind of get some more information. And really, this is a tough one, man, because I know it's tough to not look. It's tough to not start Puka, and it's also tough not to start Higgins and Lockett, especially coming off the games that they had. Higgins, you probably spent a 3rd round draft pick on, probably, right? I do like Lockett this week as well, though. I think, I mean, the Panthers defense is gettable. So, Kincaid question from earlier. My bench is London, P. Ryan, A-Chain, Zay, Kelly, Roshan dropping a chance. Dropping, okay. I mean, I'm dropping A-Chain for Ford, if that's the case. I might even drop P. Ryan for Ford too. You got Roshan and Kelly though as well. Those are kind of waiver wire guys. You could drop one of those guys. I don't know if, I mean, Kelly, I would give him another week, especially if Eckler misses. Roshan, I would want to hang on to for down the road. I think he takes that. I mean, you could drop Roshan for Ford. I wouldn't like if you said, "Hey, I'm gonna drop Roshan for Ford." I wouldn't knock you for it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't knock you for A-Chain or P. Rhino either. So, Wayne, I got ETN and Herbert. Give me a water gem, bro, or a waiver gem. A waiver gem. Herbert, is that Khalil Herbert? Yeah, go get Ford, dude. Go get Ford. Ford is available, but I got number 5 in a waiver. Well, then you're screwed probably. Go get Jalen Warren next if he's out there. Then Warren's my next guy, and then after that, obviously if Kelly's out there, try to go get Kelly. Then if after that, I doubt it if Kelly's out there. And then Hunt and Chandler, I know I got Roshan ahead of you know, on above Hunt and Chandler on this list, but Hunt and Chandler, especially with Hunt visiting with the Browns, and if we find out he signs with the Browns today before the waivers go through in the morning, Hunt and then Chandler. Chandler is the guy who is the backup for Madison. Expect to see him quite a bit here coming soon. So those, you know, try to get Ford. You're probably gonna miss out on Ford. Warren's number 2. He's the next guy. If he's out there, he's got to be out there on your waiver. I don't know if he's out there or not. Kelly, if he's out there, would be next, and then Hunt, Chandler, and really Hunt could move up a spot or two if he signs today. So, which I think he will, to be honest. Yes, Jalen Warren. Yeah, Jalen Warren. Yeah, hang on to Jalen Warren, Cameron. Don't freaking trade that guy unless it's like something you cannot refuse. Was offered Gibbs, Waddle, DJ Moore, and Judy for Jacobs, McLaurin, Pacheco. Should I do it? Yes. I'm going to say yes. Jacobs is the best of the bunch, but you're getting Gibbs, who I think is going to get an increased role coming here this week. Waddle's in concussion protocol. He should come out. Let's hope he comes out of it. I do worry about Waddle's durability a little bit. I think DJ Moore, you know, hopefully the Bears figure something out. They might have to fire the offensive coordinator or the quarterback's coach or whoever. I don't know. They're gonna end up firing somebody. They might just clean house and fire everybody here pretty soon, to be honest. You know, the way that they look. But I think DJ Moore, he's a guy that I like. Judy's a guy that I like too, kind of going forward if he can stay healthy. This is a good option to buy low on Judy and really DJ Moore as well. So McLaurin, Pacheco, I'm not losing sleep over losing those guys. Jacobs is obviously the best guy of the bunch, but you know, you're getting Gibbs, Moore, Judy, Waddle. It's a pretty good package in my opinion to take. I would take that package for Jacobs, McLaurin, and Pacheco. I would. If it was me, I would do it. 16-team league. Fields, Mostert, Chase, Calvin Ridley, Hunter Henry, Ayuk, Tyler Bass. Ravens defense benches Algier, Madison, Khalil Herbert, Jacoby Myers, Chig. What's the message? What's the question? It's a decent team. Fields has got to show us something though. Fields has to improve. What I worry about Fields is if they bench him. That's what I worry about the most. And I am a Justin Fields owner in one of my leagues. Mostert's a guy, like I said, I'm going to go over sell high, buy a low, hold, stash, cut guys. I'm going to go over that tonight. I'm going to let you know, like, Mostert's a guy I'm selling high right now, but if I owned him. And then, you know, like, you got Ridley, Chase. Hopefully Chase bounces back. You got a good receiver room. Brandon Ayuk is your flex. You're a little bit light at running back, though, I will say. Who's your other running back, man? You got Mostert. Who's your other running back? Do you only start one running back? You got Madison on the bench, Algier on the bench, Herbert on the bench. You got to have another running back, right? Other than Mostert, right? Last question. Would you start Lamar or Goff? Give me Lamar. It's close, though. I feel like Goff could have a pretty good game this week again. But give me Lamar. I just traded for Lamar. I'm starting Lamar. He's got... Who's he got? The Colts this week? Yeah, give me Lamar. B-Rob Jr. or Javonte Williams? Robinson. Welcome. You're welcome, Ricky. Dotson, Dell, or Elijah Moore? I like Dotson still. I know Dotson's like failed us 2 weeks in a row here. He's let us down. Give me Dell, though. Give me Dell. I like Dell going forward. I think he's going to be a big part of that offense. They're going to be throwing the ball a ton. Dell, I know, like, man, Dell is really, really good. Really good. I do worry, like, and it really, he's going to be really good if something happens to, like, Robert Woods or something like that. You know, if, like, knock on wood, I'm not wishing injury upon anybody, but if something were to happen to, like, Woods, who's an older receiver, who's had injuries in the past, it's going to end up being Nico and Dell. Pretty much just the 1 and 2 guys on that team, and both guys I think are going to be able to coexist because I think they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. So thanks. Going for Hunt. Okay, yep, go for Hunt, man, especially if he signs. If we find out he signs before like 10 o'clock or before the waivers go, yeah, definitely go get him. Only one spot. You asked who else I had. Okay, I asked who. What was the original question now? You said who to drop for Jerome Ford full PPR. Okay, yes, okay, so... Don't you have another running back, though, is what I'm saying. Like, Mostert can't be the only running back you have. That's like a starter, right? So you're telling me you have Mostert, Khalil Herbert, Tyler Algier, Madison as your only running backs? What happened? Did you lose Chubb or did you lose Dobbins? You had to, right? There's no way you're that light at receiver or at running back, is what I'm saying, Joker. There's no way. So who to drop for Jerome Ford? It's between Madison and Herbert then at this point. It's a coin flip. I don't believe in Madison at all. That's all I'm going to say. I don't believe in him at all. I never did, and I definitely don't after these 2 weeks. I think Chandler's coming for his job. Herbert's got a little bit more time. Look, Herbert's playing better than Madison, okay? It's just the offense for the Bears has just been terrible. The offense really hasn't been terrible for the Vikings. It's just they throw the ball a ton. They throw the ball more than just about anybody in the league. And Madison is not explosive. He keeps turning the ball over. He keeps coughing up the ball. If it's me, if it's my team, I'm picking up Ford and I'm dropping Madison. But you could make a case for Khalil Herbert. I would hope that you had somebody else on your team that's like a nobody and that you could really... Because really, Madison's a guy I want to maybe wait. Maybe he has an okay game this week, and maybe he gets you some value to try to, like, you know, trade him to somebody. What's your thoughts about backup running backs in Dallas? I was kind of shocked that I seen like Dowdle. I was kind of shocked that I seen Dowdle on the field as much. I'm not worried about him if I'm a Pollard owner, though. Pollard's a beast. And he had more red zone touches than anybody in week 1. I don't really quite know what the numbers were for this week. I mean, I'm sure he's got more red zone touches than any running back in the NFL right now through the first 2 weeks. So I'm not worried about Dallas's running backs if I'm a Pollard owner. If you're looking to go get one, I wouldn't waste my time. Maybe you go get Deuce Vaughn if you have if you can afford to, and you already kind of have a pretty good team, and your bench is kind of maybe go get a Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn could be pretty good if something happened to Pollard, I think. He's a pretty versatile player, and he's very electric with the ball in his hands. So even though he's a small guy, I'm not really worried about like Dowdle though. I'm not worried about him at all. Sanders, Gus, the bus, Jacoby, McLaurin, start 2. Oh man, this is like. This is not an easy one here, is it? I think Myers has to be 1 if he's healthy. We don't know if he's going to play this week. So Myers would have to be 1. I'd say give me 1 more week with Sanders if I'm a Sanders owner. Seattle's defense isn't the greatest. They can be got on the ground a little bit. Give me Sanders. And we'll just, you know what I mean, roll the dice with Sanders again. I'd give him like another week or 2. Like, hopefully he has a decent week, and then you can just trade him. So, give me Sanders and give me Jacoby Myers if he play. Myers has to play, though. If it's not Myers, then it's McLaurin. Gus is just, I told you guys I don't want anything to do with the Ravens backfield. Gus is touchdown dependent. I like Gus as a player, and I think he's, but they're going to have a mixed backfield, and he has to score. So, which is possible, but you never know. Gus got to the touchdown, I think, this past week, but then you go back to week 1, they gave the 2 touchdowns to Justice Hill inside the freaking 3-yard line, so you don't know who's going to get the ball. So Sanders and Myers would be my guys that I would go with this week. 12-team PPR, Tua, Purdy. Wide receivers are Higgins, Puka, Lockett, London, Jason. Running backs are Pollard, David Montgomery, Taylor. Tight ends are Andrews. Would you trade Jonathan Taylor and Jason for Brian Robinson, James Cook? Yes. Yes, I would. Do you think I can move Kyron Williams and Jordan Addison for an AJ Brown type? I don't even know if I would do that, Grapefruit. I don't even know if I would do that. I wouldn't be trading Kyron Williams, guys. I wouldn't trade him. I think he's Kyron Williams. Now that we know what's going on with Cam Akers, and the reason why I was hesitant to kind of like, award him like league winner of the year, the reason why I was hesitant was because of Cam Akers. Now that we know Cam Akers is probably going to get traded, and he's out of the picture, Kyron Williams is Kenneth Walker. He is Elijah Mitchell from 2 years ago. This year, I'm not trading Kyron Williams and Addison for AJ Brown. I don't even know if I'm doing Kyron Williams for AJ Brown right now, if I'm being honest. Depends on my receivers. If I'm good at receiver, then I'm definitely not doing it. Because running backs are valuable, guys, in fantasy. The reason why is because of Chubb's injury, Dobbins. You look at Jones. You look at Taylor being out right now and his crap with the Colts. You look at Barkley going down, was this close to probably a season-ending ACL tear. Not trading a good running back right now unless, look, their value is only going to go up. The more and more of these running backs that get injured, the more their value goes up in fantasy if you have one that's not injured. So, who should I drop to pick up? Ford, Kelly, Roschon, Charbonnet, Dotson. I'm dropping Charbonnet, dude, if it's me. I'm dropping Charbonnet, man. Maybe you drop Roschon if you think it's more valuable. I mean, it probably is a little bit more valuable to hold on to Charbonnet. Because if Walker goes down, Charbonnet moves into a good role. Whereas Roschon's on a bad Bears team right now. So maybe you pick him up and drop Roschon instead of Charbonnet. Charbonnet is not going to really do anything for you until something happens to Walker. So maybe you choose Roschon. Maybe you drop Roschon instead of Charbonnet. It's a coin flip. It's really, you're guessing at what's going to happen. You're making a judgment call. I think Roschon's going to take this backfield over here in a few weeks. but Charbonnet is in a good scenario if Walker goes down. Charbonnet's a guy that you might have to wait. You might have to wait for something to happen. You might end up waiting until week 10. You might end up waiting until week 5, you know? So, or I guess week 6. They have a bye week 5. Can you help me pick a wide receiver 2 and a flex for week 3? Options are Drake London and Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers would be 1. Elijah Moore, Zay Jones, Marvin Mims, Javonte, Charbonnet, Jalen Warren, full PPR. I'm starting Flowers over London, Elijah Moore, and Zay Jones this week. If I'm you guys, if I'm you, Warren could be a flex, but I want to see. You know, I would wait maybe on some news. Maybe Warren's gonna be so freaking good if something happens to Najee, or if they just decide to start playing him more, which I think they're kind of starting to move that way because he's better than Najee. If it's not Warren though, give me Zay Jones. Zay Jones in a bounce back week here against Houston. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got Kyron for free, and I didn't think there was much value in a 10 team. He's been solid. Look, man, I was hesitant on Kyron as well last week. I said I thought he was fool's gold. But now that we know Akers is gone and out of the picture and they're trying to trade him, that backfields to himself, I think he is, you know, he's a consensus, I think, Walker from last year. A consensus Mitchell from 2 years ago. He's that guy this year. He's the diamond in the rough that everybody was looking for. And he's probably gone in just about every single league after the first week. Should I trade Rashad White and Zay Flowers for T. Higgins? I'm gonna say no. If I'm a T. Higgins owner, guys, I'm trying to sell him high right now. That's just me. With the Burrow stuff going on, with how bad their offenses looked, he is the number 2 guy. He's never went for like more than 75 catches in a year. I'm trying to sell T. Higgins as high as I can if I own him. That's my, and I don't own him obviously, but if I did, I'm trying to get everything I can for him right now after the week that he had. And that's what that guy's probably trying to do to you, Rocks. That's what he's trying to do to you. I'm just letting you know. Because that's what I would do to you. So, no. I'm going to say no. All right, let me go over to the receivers, guys. I answered a ton of questions. Let me go to the receivers now, last minute. So, Nico's number 1. Nico's number 1 if he's out there. Zay Jones is a good option if he's out there too. I like Tank Dell. Reynolds, I know I kind of have him in the 2 spot. I really didn't put these guys in any particular order. I just kind of went down the list here that I was looking at on Sleeper and stuff and on Yahoo. Atwell down here at the bottom, Atwell. I like Atwell a lot too. Okay, I would have Atwell probably as my 3rd or 4th option up here. Dell's very, very close. Really, they're kind of both the same receiver. They both play a very similar style to a degree. But I like Zay Jones if he's out there. A lot of people are going to drop Zay Jones. They're going to overreact. Pick him up if you can. Stash him on your bench. Maybe you play him this week depending on your roster, but maybe not. Nico, I think, is a guy you probably plug and play at the flex spot immediately if you pick him up off the waiver. But Nico would be 1. Zay Jones is number 2. And then Dell and Atwell are like 3 and 4. I like Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed is good, but he needs an injury. He needs like a Michael Thomas injury or a Chris Olave injury to be really good. Tony's probably out there in some of these leagues as well, especially after last week. Did okay this week, you know, not anything crazy, but, and so is Sky Moore. I'm not picking up Tony and Sky Moore over the other 4 guys I just mentioned, though. I'm not. Because I don't trust him. Sky Moore had a big like 50-yard catch or whatever the heck it was at the end of the game in garbage time for the most part. It wasn't really garbage time, but it was basically to seal the win. It was luck. Mims only had 2 catches. They were good. Like I said, if I had Mims, I'm trying to sell him high. He had 2 catches. He caught a bomb, obviously, for a touchdown. But with Judy back, Judy's going to get more and more involved. This is his first game back from the injury. He's going to get more and more involved as the weeks progress on down. So it's a little bit of a spike week for Mims. I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't be expecting this from a week-to-week basis with Mims. So if I did own Mims, like I said, I'm gonna go over this tonight. I'm gonna go over the buy, sell, hold. I'm gonna go over stash and cut tonight. I'm gonna talk more about this tonight. I don't really want to hit on it too much today, or you know, in this video. So tonight we'll do another live stream. We're gonna go over buy, sell, hold. That's really where you're gonna know where I stand on a lot of these guys, as far as trading them, as far as you know, what to do with them. So waiver wire, though, that's going to conclude our waiver wire. You know, so right here, Kyron number 1, Ford's number 2. Let me make this a little bit smaller. So Kyron 1, Ford's number 2. Kyron shouldn't be out there, but if he is, you gotta go get him. Quarterbacks, give me Love. I like Stafford and Stroud as a backup as well. Love's probably number 1 right now. Love's going to have a tough matchup this week, but going forward after week 3, he should be okay. So Stafford number 2, Stroud would be number 3 roughly. And then we got, you know, Nico's 1. Nico's 1. Zay Jones is like 2, but really Dell's the guy I'm probably looking for, to be honest. Because Zay Jones probably, he shouldn't be out there in a lot of leagues. And then at tight end, really I like Laporta or Henry. It just depends on who's out there. You may have both of these guys out there. You may have neither of these guys out there, or you may have only one. And then I still like, I like Ferguson as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to highlight both, or I'm going to circle Ferguson and Musgrave as like my second options between after Laporta and Henry. So there it is, guys. That's really what I'm looking for if I'm you guys. The running backs, though, if Warren's out there, I think he's a must-add as well. He shouldn't be out there, though. I don't know how he's out there in 59% of leagues in Yahoo. I think, let's see. Let me see how available he is real quick in the sleeper league, because I guess that would be maybe a more accurate number. The number should be a little bit more accurate, I think. He's rostered 47, so there's 53% of him that's out there in sleeper. So Warren, yeah, Warren's out there. I really should just highlight both these guys in. I don't know why Warren's out there. So Ford and Warren. I don't know why Warren would even be out. That's crazy that he's not owned at all. Hold on a second. Comment ahead of this real quick. Package Najee with who? Puka or Keenan? Need an upgrade at running back. Oh my goodness. Dude, if you package Najee with Puka or Keenan, you better be getting like Pollard or somebody, dude. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that, but if I'm packaging, look, I would package Puka with him. I think this is tough, man. You're betting on injury here. You're betting on injury when it comes to these two receivers between Puka and Keenan. Puka's younger. Puka's getting a lot, and really, maybe Puka starts a little bit of a decline here. Maybe he comes back down to earth once Cooper Kupp comes back. You got to take that into consideration as well. And Keenan Allen had a good week. I think he's going to have another good week this week. But Keenan's 31 years old. He's old. And he dealt with injury last year. He's dealt with a little bit of injuries over his whole career. So you know, there's obviously an opportunity if Keenan gets hurt, and it's gonna suck if you're still hanging on to him. If I'm trading Najee with either of those guys, and really it's kind of pick your poison between Puka and Keenan. Do you want the young guy who could maybe get phased out because Cooper Kupp coming back potentially, or do you want the older guy who's probably the #1 receiver, but he could get hurt? If you don't think he's going to get hurt and you think he's going to be okay for the year, it's Puka with Najee, but you have to get a Breece Hall. You have to get a Pollard. You have to get a good running back. You can't get like Dameon Pierce. You can't get I don't even know who else. Would I do it for like somebody like Mixon? I don't know. I don't know who else is your receiver, Mitch. Like who else do you have as receivers other than Puka and Keenan? If you're like stacked at receiver, maybe you go for somebody like Mixon, but I think you would be overpaying because Mixon. Look, I'm a Mixon owner. Mixon hasn't scored yet. He hasn't done anything crazy. He's looked good. He's looked very efficient on his touches, but he hasn't like exploded for anything crazy yet. And so I feel like Mixon's a guy you can maybe kind of buy a little bit lower on than what you would normally be able to do. And so got offered Derrick Henry for Puka and Rachaad White. Should I accept? You could take it, Duffy, but you're betting you're betting against Derrick Henry getting hurt potentially, which maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I mean, he's like the oldest running back in the league as far as like the good ones go. I mean, Mostert's obviously older than him by like a year or two, but I don't even know. To be honest, I'd really have to know the rest of your roster, Duffy. I'd have to know who the rest of your roster is. If you're dying for a running back and you've got good receiver depth other than Puka Nacua, then yes, do it. Hate asking, but is Puka is the Puka hype real? I feel like he'll fade fast. I think the hype is real, but the people who are maybe expecting like a 25-30 point game every single week, they better pump the brakes because it's not gonna keep happening over and over again. I don't think. I mean, he's solid up until Kupp comes back. I think he's gonna have a pretty solid Monday night game against the Bengals. I don't think the guy still hasn't gotten into the end zone yet. I don't think so. The Puka hype is real, and he is a good player. I think he needs to be a little bit better about getting out of bounds, getting down, not taking so many hits. So the Puka hype is real. I wouldn't be trying to look. If I was a Puka owner, I wouldn't be just selling him for no reason. I wouldn't be just selling him to get like a bad ROI. I would make sure I'm getting good. Like I would treat Puka like Garrett Wilson. I would treat Puka like you could treat him like a CeeDee Lamb, like a Stephon Diggs right now. I would treat him like that. And if I owned him, if somebody wanted Puka from me, I'm not getting an Amari Cooper back for Puka. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting a let me see who's this guy. Like this guy has Hopkins. This guy has Metcalf. I can maybe do Metcalf for him straight up, but like Hopkins, I'm not taking Hopkins for him straight up. You know what I mean? You're talking like those like late third rounders, fourth round receivers. I'm not trading Puka for any of those guys, probably straight up. At 3 tight end last week, Waller, Njoku, Higbee. I plan to cut Higbee now. Should I grab Chiefs defense? I got Eagles. See this thing, I have the Eagles defense too, and I thought about picking up the Chiefs defense. I think I'm just going to roll with the Eagles defense this week. I'm not going to pick up the Chiefs defense, I don't think. Or another kicker to go with Groupie. Well, you definitely need to drop one of the tight ends. You should not own 3 tight ends. You should never own 3 tight ends. And really, 2 is like obviously the limit. Yeah, cut Higbee. Go get Tank Dell. Go get a Jerome Ford. Go get somebody that's on this list that you need. If you need a backup quarterback, go get one of the quarterbacks. Nico and Dell and Zay Jones would be, and really even Josh Reynolds too. I would go, like if Josh Reynolds is the only one there, go get him. I like Jaden Reed. I like Shaheed. Shaheed's a good guy to stash on your bench. All it takes is another Mike Thomas injury, and Shaheed will be really, really good. Fields, Pollard, White, Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Hawkinson, Puka, Flowers, DJ Moore, London. So that is your team, and you were asking me about the Derrick Henry, Puka. So you have Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Hawkinson, Flowers. So you have Zay Flowers. So yes, I would do this. I would probably do this if I were you. You do need another running back, and you're getting rid of Rachaad White and Puka for Henry. This is what I would do, though, if I were you, if I'm being honest. I would Instead of selling Puka, maybe you sell him Drake London. I don't know if you'll take London. Maybe you sell DJ Moore though too. Right now, I think I would rather have Flowers and Puka over DJ Moore, if I'm being quite honest with you guys. So, look, this is what I would say, Duffy. If I'm selling White and Puka, and I like Derrick Henry, I'm not saying it's a bad trade. I'm not saying you're going to lose the trade if you take it, but maybe you try to get like, well, you have Pollard. Never mind. I was going to say, go get Pollard. You have Pollard. I would take it, probably. I would take it. You're going to be okay at receiver. You have JJ, you got Amon-Ra, and you still have Flowers and DJ Moore, which are solid flex options. London's a guy I'm trying to trade away, though. Maybe try to trade away London off of this high week. I told you guys if London had a good week, I'd try to trade him. I'd try to move him before it's too late. I have waiver priority 1. Should I get my Kyron for? Should get my Kyron for sure over Ford. Yeah, I would take Kyron over Ford. I would. They're gonna bring. Look, guys. I'm telling you guys right now. They're gonna bring in another running back. Ford is probably still the #1 guy, but they're gonna mix in. They have to. They only have 2 running backs on the roster right now. They have to go get another running back. They will go get another running back. So Kyron is the guy. He's the guy in LA. Give me Kyron over Ford. You guys see it right here on the thing. Kyron is above Ford. Give me Kyron. I have Lamb, Ridley, Tyreek, Addison, auction. Don't need any wide receivers. Okay, you don't need any receivers. Grab the Chiefs defense then. Like, you know what I mean? Hang on to the Eagles defense. Just grab the Chiefs defense so nobody else will pick them up then. And then you can, I don't know, flip a coin on who you're going to start this week. I think both defenses are solid this week. Eagles got Tampa Bay on Monday night, and the Chiefs obviously have the Bears. If the Eagles secondary doesn't get healthier, like if they don't get Bradbury back, if they don't get Reed Blankenship back this week, maybe you go with the Chiefs defense this week. Tight end position is so hit and miss. Should I keep Higbee or drop him in favor of Henry? I would drop him in favor of Henry. Like Alex, I agree with you, dude. Tight ends right now are like, it's like drawing out of a hat right now, blindfolded. As far as like which really, you know what I mean? I mean, Kelsey's eventually going to become the tight end #1 as long as he stays healthy. And Mark Andrews is going to start to kind of move his way up the tight end rankings. But aside from those 2 guys and really Hawkinson, it's like, you know, from week to week, it's tough to know who to really start at tight end. I know Henry's been playing good, but there's going to be a week, like we're due for a week where Hunter Henry doesn't really do anything. So, and then maybe Higbee plays pretty good this week. We'll see. I don't know if they're going to get Higbee more involved this week or not. We'll see. I would say yes, though. I would say yes. I think I would be out on Higbee. I think there's better options. I would like Musgrave, Hayden Hurst. I would like all these guys that are on the list, to be honest. Should I add Ford or Hunt this week? This is a tough one, guys. This is a tough one. Look, I think Hunt does sign with the Browns. I think he will eventually. It just makes the most sense for the Browns to do that. I'm gonna say Ford though. I'm gonna say give me Ford over Hunt. I may eat this. I may tell you guys I was wrong on this one. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, but we'll see what kind of shape Hunt is in whenever they do sign him, which I think they will. I don't know if they will or not, but I think they will. I think there's a good chance, good possibility. He knows the offense. He's familiar with the team. It would make sense, in my opinion, that they went out and got Hunt either today or tomorrow. But Ford is going to be the guy this week. Look, Ford's got Tennessee this week. Tennessee's been bottling up every single rushing offense that they've played so far. So I would not, like, you guys know how you guys went out and got Kelly last week, or some of you guys that got Kelly last week and then he got bottled up. And we're like, oh my God, Kelly's supposed to have a good week. You might see the same thing with Ford this week. You might go, you're going to see guys that go out and get Ford, and if they start him, he might get bottled up this week, and then people might like drop him or whatever. I would still, especially Ford, I would definitely still be holding on to him, even if he does have a bad week this week against Tennessee. Don't overreact to it. Tennessee has a good rush defense. So, but I would want Ford over Hunt, if I'm being honest, because I think Ford is more explosive. Dude, they chose him over Kareem Hunt. You know what I'm saying? They chose him over Kareem Hunt going into the offseason. So, give me Ford over Hunt. Would you trade away Aaron Jones and Kirk for Higgins and Rashad White? It's a 3 wide receiver PPR league. My wide receiver 3 is Zay Flowers, and running backs are Cook and Kyron Williams. Kirk is the guy that I would sell high on. People are just bailing on Aaron Jones right now because he's hurt, which I guess I kind of understand, but there's better value with Aaron Jones when he's healthy, you know what I mean, as far as like trading him. I don't like Higgins, man. I just don't like him. I don't trust him, you know what I mean? And with the Burrow stuff, we'll see if Burrow plays. I reckon Burrow's going to play Monday night. I would be really shocked if he didn't, to be honest. I would say yes, but I don't feel great about it. I don't like giving away Aaron Jones. And it's not that, like, Kirk, I'm fine with giving away Kirk. Rashad White, okay, you know, you do have James Cook and Kyron Williams as well. I'm trying to get rid of Kirk if I'm you guys, you know what I mean? If I own Christian Kirk, I'm trying to get rid of him, but I don't want to just give away Aaron Jones. Because you're not losing anything with Aaron Jones being hurt right now. You have Cook and Kyron Williams in. I know you might be hurting at receiver a little bit, but I would do this trade, but I'm doing it and I'm trying to get somebody better than Higgins. That's me. I'm trying to get Ridley. I'm trying to get somebody. I would even take Garrett Wilson over Higgins, I think. It's close, but if you like Higgins a ton, then do it, I guess. But I would be trying to get like Ridley instead. I would be trying to get I may or may not even trust DK a little bit more, to be honest. I have Kelsey and everyone is trying to trade for him. Should I still hold? Yeah. I tried to get Kelsey off somebody before week 2 began. I tried to get somebody, the guy who owns Kelsey in my league, I was trying to get him on like Friday or Thursday or something. Yeah, hold on to Kelsey, dude. Treat Kelsey like he's a first round pick still, because he is. He's going to get going. A lot of people are trying to buy low on him, and I don't blame them for doing that. This is the time to do it. So, thanks, man. I just worry about the loss of Avonte Maddox in the meantime. Okay. Yeah, then, yeah, go get, go pick up the Chiefs defense and start them this week. You know what I mean? You don't really need to add other pieces or, you know, at the other positions. So yeah, just go get the Chiefs defense. Look, I have the Eagles defense too. I might pick up the Chiefs defense this week as well. And then, I mean, I think both defenses are solid starts, but yeah, the Eagles secondary still banged up a little bit. Start the Chiefs. Justin Fields can't get to the second read. So, you know, and Chris Jones is going to be in his face probably much of the game, so because their offensive line sucks. Should I drop Cam Akers or for Joint and Quill for Johnson? Wait, for Joint, who's Joint? Should I drop Cam Akers for Joint? Smoking a joint? Who's Joint? And Khalil for Johnson. Don't drop Cam Akers. Don't drop Cam Akers, because if he gets traded to a team that really needs him and they start to use him, you're going to be pissed that you just dropped him, and then you're probably not going to be able to get him back off the waivers. Do not drop Cam Akers, guys. I know it sucks, the scenario that he's in, but he's going to get traded somewhere, and depending on where he goes, you might want to make sure you hold on to him. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there's a chance. There's a possibility. You think trading London Dotson for either Swift or Kyron is fair, or how close is it? If I had let's say if I had London and Dotson, and I needed a running back, and I traded him for Kyron, I feel like I would be getting the better end of that deal. Swift is a guy that I'm telling you guys right now. Like I said, I'm gonna go over this tonight. I'm getting ready to be done, guys. I'm gonna try to not give me any more questions. I'm gonna be done here. And then, like I said, I'm gonna come back on tonight. We'll go live. We're gonna go over this buy, hold, sell. We'll go over the guys to stash, guys to cut. So a lot of this stuff I'm gonna go over tonight, okay? But Swift is gonna be a guy who I'm selling high on. I'm selling Swift high, probably. He's gonna be on the list. A lot of you guys may or may not agree with that, but we'll see what happens, man. If Gainwell comes back this week, I might be trying to get everything I can for Swift. I don't trust the Eagles backfield. I don't trust the Ravens backfield. So picking up 4, dropping Dameon Pierce. Can't believe he hasn't been progressing. I don't know if I'm dropping Dameon Pierce, bro. I know you guys are unhappy with some of these guys tonight. I get it, but you guys can't just start overreacting. Don't overreact. Pierce is a guy you guys probably spent like a 6th-round pick on. Don't just drop him for nothing. Put him on let him ride the bench, but don't drop him. How about Kirk and Aaron Jones for Jacobs? My wide receivers are great, and I have Tyreek. Yeah, punch it. Punch it. Because I kind of view Jacobs a little bit better than Aaron Jones. And Kirk is kind of a non-factor for me. Kirk's just a guy that you throw in there to make it look appealing for the other guy. I got offered CMC and ETN for Tyreek, Jonathan Taylor, and Kyron in full PPR. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say take it because you're getting Kyron as well. CMC and Tyreek kind of cancel each other out. Kyron and JT for ETN. Give me the Kyron JT side and give me the upside with maybe what could happen with JT. I'm not going to say you're going to win that trade. There's a chance the CMC and the ETN is offer. The CMC ETN side is better. But if Taylor comes back, looks decent, or if they trade him to a team that uses him and it looks decent, you're going to win that trade. So you're betting on Jonathan Taylor to a degree. If Taylor ends up not doing anything at all this year, I do think you could still, I think the trade would kind of wash, if I'm being honest. I think it washes. And Tyreek's, I think, less likely to get hurt than CMC. On top of that, CMC's a running back. So I'm going to, do I give up Herbert and Ridley for Pollard? No. I'm assuming that's Justin Herbert and Calvin Ridley. It's not Khalil Herbert. If it's Khalil Herbert and Ridley, yes. If it's Justin Herbert and Calvin Ridley, then no. What time tonight? 9 o'clock. 9 or 9:30. I'll schedule it so you guys will see. It'll be 9 or 9:30 tonight. So 3.5 hours. Trade Nico Collins and Elijah Mitchell for Javonte Williams, Hollywood Brown, redraft full PPR. Oh my gosh. I'm going to say yes, but it's really, really close. I think I want the Javonte side, I think. It's close though. I like Nico. Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell needs McCaffrey to get hurt to even really do something. So give me the Javonte Williams side, just barely though. I like Nico Collins a lot though. You told me to get rid of Collins. Oops. Yeah, Collins is a guy that you might want to try to get back. Might want to try to get back after this past week. He's not a guy that you have to have though. He's not like do or die. I would try to get Tank Dell maybe. If he's out there, Tank Dell could be a guy that's probably out there that you could get. You said that is Khalil Herbert. So if it's Khalil Herbert and Ridley for Pollard, I'm going to say give me the Pollard side, man. Pollard is a top 5 back this year. I think hands down. It's not really even close. The only way he doesn't finish top 5 is if he gets hurt. So give me Pollard. Give me Pollard. It's basically Ridley for Pollard, and I like Pollard a little bit more than Ridley, so give me Pollard. Herbert's just eye candy. You know, you're throwing in eye candy of Khalil Herbert to make it a little more appealing. I think Herbert's, look, you don't want, you know, really Chicago. I want to say Chicago, Eagles, and the Ravens are like backfields I really don't want anything to do with. Maybe I'll stash a guy like a Roschon Johnson from Chicago. But other than that, I don't really want anything to do with him. I know people are high on Swift after this week, but if Gainwell comes back and is like involved, or if they go and get somebody, you know, if they trade for somebody like Akers or Jonathan Taylor, you're gonna wish you would have traded Swift whenever you had the chance this week. That's all I'm gonna say. Thoughts on Hunt? I think he goes to the Browns. I think the Browns pick him up. They met with him earlier today. I think he ends up signing back with Cleveland. He knows the offense. He knows the team. He's familiar with the offense, and they don't have to spend like any draft capital to pick him up. They have to spend money. That's it. So I don't even think they're going to pay him that much, and he'll probably come back. So give me, you know, I'm going to say Hunt goes. You know, I kind of want him, but I kind of want Ford as well. I kind of want Ford a little bit more. But, you know, he's not going to probably be involved if they signed him today. He's not going to be too involved this week, but he'll be involved later on down the line. You know, they'll mix him in, you know, as soon as they get him into game shape. Would you trade away Warren for Kelly? Short term makes sense, but long term, no. I like Warren better than Kelly. Warren's I think he's a better running back. So no. All right, guys, I'm done, man. More questions tonight. I'm gonna go over buy, sell, hold, stash, and cut. We'll go over that tonight. So if you guys have more questions, ask me tonight whenever I'm going over who to buy low on, who to hold, who to sell high on, who to stash, who to cut. Okay, so ask me tonight, guys. I will catch you guys tonight, probably about 9 or 9:30 p.m. Central Time, so my time. So 3.5 hours from now. I'll catch you guys later. I'm out of here. See you guys tonight. When to go? I'm gonna say Ford. Man. As of right now, Ford. We still don't even know if Hunt's gonna sign. Okay, we don't know. So, give me Ford.